All right, we back. So one thing I wanted to share today was taking this leap of faith into independent artistry. Man, back in 2022, I came on staff with the organization. Actually, you know what? Let's not start there. Let's go all the way back. I've been rapping since I was 12, y'all. I'm 24. I'll be 25 this year. Been rapping since I was 12. I love it. That's what I've always loved, what I've always wanted to do. I used to want to be in the NFL before I started rapping, and I stopped going to football practice so I could write raps. Like I fell in love with it. And from 12 to like 19, that's all I did. I went to after school programs. I just loved it. Anywhere that would give me an outlet, a platform, is what I did, bro. I was like, when you find a passion and you grind it, that's all you lock in on. Those that know, it's like you are captivated by it. So, and then when I was 19, I had my son. So for almost 5 years, I was kind of unsure about music. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And at the end of 2020, I had just encounters with Jesus through his people, through the text. I remember reading through Colossians 3 and that radically changing my life. I feel like I've heard the cross preached so much as it ought to be, but it always was out of context to like the resurrection and out of context to the kingdom of God. It was just like, Jesus died for you, believe in him. And I want to do another episode about just how I've grown even theologically, but to read Colossians 3 and to have Paul really explain the resurrection and its practical implications really blew my mind. It began to change me. So with that being said, I just entered into a season where I was like, this is all I want to do, is study God's word, is serve people. So I was looking for seminary opportunities. 2022 comes around. There's a local seminary that opens called Emmaus Theological Seminary. If you're in the Cleveland area, even if you're not in Cleveland, check out Emmaus Theological Seminary. I'll have their link in the description. Great seminary. Highly recommend it. I find them, I enroll. And at the same time I enroll in that seminary, I also come on staff at a parachurch Christian organization called Youth for Christ. I initially come on in the City Life Center department. So I started doing that. I was a student of that ministry, so it only made sense I do that. And then I hit some really hard personal waters, and it was like, yeah, no, I can't be here no more. I gotta dip. I was about to leave, and then before I left, well, actually I did. I left, and then like a week being gone, they called me and they were like, hey, like, we understand everything that's going on, and we have an opportunity for you if you're interested to be with the juvenile justice ministry. So I was like, I never considered that. I never thought about doing that, but sure, I'll do it. So from 2023 up until July of 2024, my life was serving incarcerated youth, and that changed me. That gave me a brand new perspective on life, on issues of justice, on issues of race and economics, on what the gospel is, and also just relationships with everyday people. It really formed me deeply in that way. So all of this to say, my mind was not set on music in the least. I released songs here and there. If you look back at my catalog, I had a song called The Passion in 2021 that did really well, but I had no idea what I was doing. I released it, it's getting traction, and I had nothing to follow it up with. I'm like, all right, we're just gonna ride this wave and see what happens. So I wasn't taking music serious. I didn't feel like I was called to it. It was like, I know I'm gifted at it, but I just didn't know what to do with it. So much so that there was a local pastor that I met with, and while me and him are talking, I'm showing him a video I did that was like by his church. And then he stops me, he's like, is this what you plan on doing for the rest of your life? And I was like, nah, I'm cool. Then a couple months later, I get a DM from an organization called Project Elevation. Project Elevation, at the time, had never been done before. It was this brand new idea of people trying to gather their resources, their network, and dump them into 10 independent Christian hip hop artists from around the country. And I knew a couple of people who followed the page, but I still was like, I don't know, what is this for real? So needless to say, I applied, I paid the application fee. I forgot I applied really. And then like a week or so later, I get a DM, they're like, congratulations, we selected you. And I'm like, okay, cool. But I have no PTO days to go. I have a 4-year-old son and I couldn't afford to miss work. And I was taking off PTO days just because I had a lot of life going on that I needed to take those PTO days. And they came to me and they was like, well, I'm sorry. So I was going to let them know that I couldn't make it. I was gonna let them know like, hey, like, I appreciate the offer, but I can't make it. And then y'all, when I tell you that this was the Lord, this was not of my own doing. My supervisor, who knows nothing about my situation, comes in and she's like, hey, Rob, this is the next day. Right when I'm about to tell them I have no PTO days to go. The very next day, supervisor comes in and says, hey, Rob, I just got off a sabbatical. I got 17 PTO days, and I want you to have 5 of mine just to use however you want. I'm like, bruh. I'm like, okay, God, what is going on? So needless to say, I instantly put them boys in. I take the trip to Boston and it changed my life. It changed my life. You know, I went into this project having no understanding of what it meant to be an artist. But I really wrestled with God that week. Like times where I would be alone and I'm asking questions like, Lord, why am I here? I was not chasing after this. You brought this my way. When I was gonna tell them I couldn't go, you brought somebody to bring me PTO days. Like, why am I here? Why? I don't feel like this is something I'm called to. But by the end of that week, through a lot of conversations I had and through prayer and really just practical wisdom, was like, for me to go back home and not make the best of all that's been put in my lap would be irresponsible. It would low-key feel like sin. Lord, you've paved the way for me. And for me to not capitalize on this, you got something here for me. I don't know what it is exactly, but you got something. So needless to say, I come back home. I was like, all right, Lord, you're calling me to this. From July of last year, and now it is January of 2025, the last 6-7 months, I've been figuring this thing out. My local church has been kind enough. This is the space of my local church. This is not my own space. They open up their facilities for me to come in every single day to make music. I have meetings here. I have calls here. This is like my space. Now I'm also an intern at my church, so that's the way I'm getting stable income as well as the stuff you guys saw me do with the youth. So there's ways that the Lord is providing. But God has really been very strategic in just caring for me in this time. Even when it feels like I literally don't have $1 to my name, the Lord always puts me on somebody's heart to be able to support me. So that's kind of a long-winded version of how I came to say like, nah, I'm doing this and I'm putting all my eggs in your basket. Like this is something that you've obviously opened a door for. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Okay, cool. So this leads me to my next conversation. For 2025, I have a project that I'm working on called No Rock Stars. It will be a small EP that I'm planning to release in September of this year. But listen, I want to invite you to come along for the journey this year. Starting really next month, I plan to do a series of shows from roughly February up until September, where I want to garner at least $210 a month Patreons on my grouped community called The Table, where we're able to cultivate community. You get exclusive songs, merchandise, all of that. But the reason why I want you to be a $10 a month Patreon is, one, if you feel like you're invested into what I'm doing, if you believe in what this music thing is, if you feel like it's impacted you in any way, I want you guys to be along for the journey. So from March to September, I plan to do one show a month. I may be doing more than that, but the ones that I'm curating is at least once a month. That leads up to a final show in September here in Cleveland, a venue that has yet to be determined, where it'll be like the release party for this project. And I want to be able to invite you guys along for the journey. I want you guys to be, if you're invested, be invested. That's essentially what I'm asking you, is that if you feel like you're invested in the music, in the vision, in the journey, then join me and tell others about the good things that you're getting from this music, this mission, this life that I'm trying to model through my music, through these vlogs, through my social media. A big part of it is this mission that I have called 356-216-247. And those that know, I got it tatted on me right here. I'll explain it one day. Those that know, but it's a mission, it's a vision. And if you want to know, maybe you should join the community so you should find out what I'm talking about, what I mean when I say that. But I plan to document the entire journey. I plan to document every show. I plan to document the meetings that I'm having surrounding this. And I really want to just document this to have proof, like, look, I believe God is building something, and I want to be able just to reflect on it and present to others like, hey, this is what God's been able to do in my journey. Let's see what happens next. So if you're here now, thank you. I hope that we can stick around and keep building even a year from now. Let's see what God is doing. Stick around. Project No Rock Stars is bound to commence. It's already rolling out, but we got some cool things happening. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace. But I forgot to tell you, please subscribe, like, comment, share. If this video brought any value to you, if you like what I'm doing, if you think that this is good stuff, I would really appreciate if you subscribe, like, comment, and share with somebody who you think it would add value to. So appreciate y'all, man. See you guys next Wednesday.